case overview, and then the case proper, and then the criticism.
Great. Camera appreciates it.
You're welcome, camera. Everyone ready?
He says that the basis of the debate is wrong because we're asking for the ballot. However, that's why our role of the ballot isn't just vote for Concordia or vote for the people in our privilege. Our role of the ballot is who has the best effect on resisting oppression within the speaking location, which is the reason why they could meet our role of the ballot and still win the debate. Our argument is that within debate context, we should be talking about methodologies for bringing people who are ignored, or bringing beings who are ignored into the space and talking about it, which is a reason why our role of the ballot isn't just narcissism or isn't just a type of reformism. We're actually trying to change the way debate is conceptualized. There is a piece of Delaware evidence. However, we're not asking for a war to unlearn privilege. We're asking you to vote for our methodology. We have a good way to engage politics and to engage the social aspects within debate, which is the reason why our methodology, why our methodology should be for not just voting for us because we unlearn privilege. That's not the argument. Next, they talk about how we lock systems into genocide because it's liberal blackmail, and then we read the piece of Rodriguez evidence. However, our abolitionists, the Alcott methodology talks about how we have to question at every contextual level the things that we take as assumed, which is a reason why we aren't just reformism. We're trying to radically change the way we debate, which is a reason why we aren't just reforming debate. We're changing it from the bottom up, which means that in debates we should talk about the particular context and not about impacts that somehow happen out there, which is going to be important on the criticism in just a second. And he says in cross-text, or he reads this piece of Shabaha evidence about how rejection is a requirement, and then extends the Derrida argument. However, this is on case proper, I think. It is flawed to believe that critiquing our privilege is the same as confession. We must acknowledge that the way privilege changes the meaning and intent of what we say and how we set the alternatives to their argument is a form of hegemonic balance because the speaking subject is rendered transparent. However, who makes arguments predetermines the value of those arguments. That was the Alcott argument, and we also don't force anyone to confess their privilege. The point is to understand how the subject speaking changes what is said. It's about context, not about a forced confession regime. It's about how our context, how our socialization impacts the arguments we make. You just have to talk about the type of particular argument, and there weren't arguments assumed to be vast and uncritical to the rest of American society. Focusing on instances of biopolitics does not mean that we justify the rest of violence and machine. The idea that we can deem certain bodies as dangerous is a link turn to this argument, and that which is the Butler argument about how we change the conceptualization of who is important and who is not. And you should send the McNolan's hostile evidence. They indicate that the way in which we construct these situations is indicative of genocidal geopolitics because we render all non-European perspectives as lacking value, which is a reason why our permutation on the criticism is going to solve because we're link turning their argument because the only way we have subaltern knowledge production is the only way we ignore the knowledge production of animals and the silent screams is because we dismiss them based on our Eurocentric knowledge production, which is the reason why our methodology is better to address these things. And you should extend the piece of link evidence. It's really good about how we expose the hideouts of bare life and politics, which is another solvency argument for why the permutation, another net benefit and falsity argument for the permutation because we examine our oppositionality and within gender and within the feminist lens, which is a reason why we can change our representations of politics and the theoretical framework that prop up the state of exception as well as allow us to make human non-human distinction. Criticism. First, he reads this piece of Derrida evidence. However, man is not a gender-neutral word. Interchanging with people perpetuates gender inequality right center. In 10 English speakers deny them using masculine nouns and pronouns in situation with the gender of their subsequent variable or one group or which they are referring to. Contains remnants of explicit English, like the speakers no longer understand where man to be self-honest with people practice must think carefully about the ideas they express gender in order to convey the ideas clearly and accurately to their reader. These issues are important for those who be concerned about the issues of social equality, queer race women, from the language that makes it easier to maintain gender equality. Male-based generics are another indicator, more importantly, reinforce our system in which man is the abstract and man in flesh or privilege over women. Words matter in our language. Choices have consequences. If we believe that women and men deserve social equality, then we should think seriously about how to reflect the belief in our language. The Derrida piece of evidence used man as a general signifier for all humanity, of all of humans, which is a reason why their evidence necessarily creates a particular speech context within this debate that relegates the position of women to non-importance, which is our entire argument about speaking context matter. This should be evaluated before the rest of the anthropocentrism criticism because they had a choice to read this piece of evidence. They had a choice to gender paraphrase this evidence. They didn't, this is a which is a reason why we unlearned our human privileges and wanting to see, yes, it's an unending process that we aren't finished, we are never finished with. However, we did make an explicit claim about how our human privilege gives us the right to speak, and you should extend the Heinz this is the aid to the alternative humans are also oppressed, which is a reason why you can't just ignore the fact that silencing Raj to appeal to have a trial in Guantanamo is genocidal geopolitics. That was in the overview. And extend the knowledge production is still real. We should question it with our methodology, and you should extend the elitism that rises and talk about that. The argument about how, yes, Farage uses human rights discourse, that's not a reason to assume his truth value is unimportant. Not everyone has the same access to knowledge production and social location, which is a reason why we should still evaluate these claims. And our method solves better. We don't have a picture of a road post all, which is a reason why the permutation is necessarily better. It's not severance. We have learned privileges and want to see which questions link it. It's intrinsic. We do all of the act and part of the all. We didn't. We already talked about human privilege as a reason why the permutation is necessarily better. Our methodology gives you a better picture for how to implement anthropocentrism in the world, because people are able to question their human privilege while also questioning other types of biases that impact our speech acts.
You have 627.